morning, it's Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the daily support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Saturday the 3rd of October. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks here. You're going to see Bitcoin avoid a fallback through the pivot level at 10,554 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 10,718. Going to see support from the broader market, however, for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high that was at 10,686. We've seen 10,700 to be a major resistance level in recent weeks. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Bitcoin back. Failure to avoid a fallback through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 10,423 into play. Barring extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 10,200s. Second major support level sits at 10,259. That should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing suggestive of a bearish morning ahead. Looking at the EMA, however, we're seeing the 50 pull back from the 100 and the 200, supporting this early move south. So key through the early part of the morning would be to avoid a fallback through the pivot level and break back through to 10,700 to then bring those resistance levels into play and avoid another day in the red. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, slightly bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid a pullback through the pivot level sitting at 344.71 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 355.24. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 350 levels, however. So buying an extended rally on the day, but the first major resistance level and yesterday's high that's at 354.25 to limit any upside on the day. Before back through the pivot level, we bring the first major support level sitting at 335.18 into play. Buying an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should steer clear of the second major support level sitting at 324.65. Similar trend on the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, supportive of this minor pullback through this morning. On the MA, however, following that bearish cross, we've seen the 50 pull back a little bit from the 100 and the 200, suggestive of another day in the red. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 344.71, move back through to 350s to then bring the resistance level and 360 into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, relatively flat start to the day. Going to need to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 45.05 to support a run at the first major resistance level that's sitting at 46.85. Going to see broad-based crypto rally for Litecoin to break back through to 46 levels, however. So buying an extended rally on the day, but that first major resistance level and Friday's high, it was at 46.96 to pin Litecoin back. In the event of a breakout, expect a visit to 47 levels before any pullback. Should fall well short of the second major resistance level, 48.76, however. Failure to move through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 43.14 into play. Buying an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should steer clear of sub 42 support levels. Second major support level sits at 41.34. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram after late yesterday's bullish cross, supportive of upward momentum through the morning. Looking at the EMA, however, we're not seeing any narrowing of the 50 onto the 100 or 200. So key through the early part of the day, move through the pivot level at 45.05 to return to 46s to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and you've got sub 44s and support levels that will come into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, relatively range-bound start to the morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 23.41 to support a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 0.2392. Going to see broad-based crypto rally, however, Ripple's XRP to break out from 0.235 levels. Barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 0.23919 to pin Ripple's XRP back. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level at 0.2443 that would likely come into play. Better to move through the pivot. We'll bring the first major support level sitting at 0.2290 into play. Buying an extended sell-off, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.22s. Second major support level sitting at 0.2239 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, we're seeing a widening of the bullish histograms there, supportive of a move northwards through the early part of the morning after yesterday's bullish cross. On the EMAs, that 50 looks to be bottling it out. A flattening against the 100 and the 200 would support a move northwards. So key through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot level at 0.2341 and break out from 0.235 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and you got sub 0.23s and support levels that will come into play.